What just happened, Grace?
I just got banned off Instagram.
On Instagram, the second I log in, it just comes up with this page. I can't access anything whatsoever.
I've opened TikTok and I'm still able to scroll without anything popping up about the ban, and same with Instagram.
Now, to go onto my other account that is 16 and over, or 16 years old, it's absolutely normal.
Got a message this morning. If you're 16 or older, verify your age to unlock your account. I did try, and I tried to sign up, but it says, sorry, it looks like you're not eligible for Snapchat.
I'm going into Snapchat. They emailed me, but I didn't open their emails, and I can just go straight on.
This morning, I went to use TikTok, and I have 3 accounts. 2 of them have my real age, and they pretty much showed something like this. Like, they pretty much just got deleted.
Okay, I'm opening YouTube. I can still see everything and I'm still logged in. Going to Instagram, it tells me all this stuff about why I can't be on Instagram anymore. Sad, because I love Instagram.
Across Australia, those under 16 are starting their
you elbow
day a little differently, without social media.
I believe that as a young Australian, we as a whole will have our constitutional right taken away from us, and we will also be invisible with this ban. We won't be able to share our views or opinions, and we won't be able to hear others' views and opinions, political or just about anything.
My biggest thing is that if somebody can go get a piercing, can go get a job, can go get their own Medicare card, can get a tax file number, can go take their driver's knowledge test before the age of 16, and they can do all of these things with the trust that they're responsible enough to handle it and advocate for themselves if it becomes too much. How can we then say they can't hold a social media account?
It's going to be worse for like queer people and like people with like niche interests, I guess, because like that's the only way they can find their community. And
okay, my conspiracy theory is literally this is because of Israel. Like, it's not that like Israel is directly doing this, but governments in the Western world saw what it looks like when people have unrestricted access to the social media platforms at a young age, and how quickly their attitude shifted because it wasn't coming from like controlled institutions that were disseminating information in the right way, and they have no more narrative control capabilities. They were like, we have to do something about it. Everything is not Israel, you weirdo. It will save lives. I think, well, first of all, the TikTok ban was directly because of Israel. They said it, right? The TikTok sale was directly because of Israel. And they openly said it, so we don't even have to speculate on that front. I'm just saying that my suspicion is that they're trying to sell this as like a good thing to protect children. And it's not just Israel. Like, Israel is the canary in the coal mine, if you will. Because obviously their goals are to at least have some semblance of control over what kind of information people are seeing, especially at their most malleable, right? When they're young children. So Israel is more so a catalyst rather than the only reason. The actual reason is that they want to control the dissemination of information, especially when kids are young. And because of the impossible to ignore generational divide on this issue, I think it made it much easier for people in power to basically take action when they were probably fearful beforehand, fearful of the backlash. One way that you can tell these age verification laws are not about fighting against big tech is that big tech money stooge is promoting them. He didn't have a come to Jesus moment on this. These laws are censorious off ramp that misconstrues the problem.
Australia is banning all TikTok, Instagram, and all social media from kids that are 16 and younger. I think it's time for America to pick up.
I love you, bro, but these are some of your worst arguments. What would like children do about Israel regardless of their awareness of it? Wait, what? Brother, you know children don't stay children, right? You know kids grow up, right? And they become adults. Oh, they can participate once they're adults. I don't understand the point.
This game and do the same. Look, when it comes to our adolescents, it's either going to be adults or the algorithms. One of them is going to raise the kids. And I think we need to help parents. It's too much for a parent to push against Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the other social, Snapchat, all the other social medias. apps. Our kids are way too vulnerable. It's too addictive, too alluring, that a parent should face off against these powerful companies that are trying to influence their children. Now, when it came to taking telephones out of classrooms, we've seen progress. When it came to restricting tobacco from our kids, we've seen progress. When it came to the designated driver, we've seen progress in protecting the safety and the development of our children. So today I'm calling for the United States to follow suit, come up with its own plan, but protect our children, help our parents, strengthen our families, and restrict all the social media when it comes to access to kids and adolescents 16 and younger.
Yeah, I mean, Hillary Clinton blamed TikTok on the
smart, well-educated young people from our own country, from around the world. Where were they getting their information? They were getting their information from social media, particularly TikTok. That is where they were learning about what happened on October 7th, what happened in the days, weeks, and months to follow. That's a serious problem. It's a serious problem for democracy, whether it's Israel or the United States, and it's a serious problem for our young people. And it was frankly shocking to me how little the students we were encountering, not only in this class we teach, which is a very large class, international relations about crisis decision making, but students more generally. And that's why I mentioned the social media piece of it, because when you would try to talk to them to engage in some kind of reasonable discussion, it was very difficult because they did not know history, they had very little context, and what they were being told on social media was not just one-sided, it was pure propaganda. And so when you think about how to tell Israel's story, and it's important, it's not just looking internally, it's looking externally, and particularly looking at young people, because, it's not just the usual suspects. It is a lot of young Jewish Americans who don't know the history and don't understand. I was talking to Condi Rice, and, she said in an interview that I did after the 20-point plan came out, she and I were on CB.
Australia isn't America. Australian domestic and foreign policy isn't Israel first. Australia doesn't put migrants into supermaxes for saying mean things about Israel. I think it's really funny that you say that, because Australia is the one other British penal colony that closely resembles the United States of America in both its history and its also current domestic and foreign policy. And yes, they don't put them into supermaxes. They have an island for that. They have an entire island for that, as a matter of fact. Australia is one of the closest examples to the United States of America. Sure, they have better social democracy, but that's pretty crazy to say that about Australia.
Yes, and she said, when people were chanting from the river to the sea, she would ask the students, what river, what sea? They didn't know. I had the same experience. A lot of the challenge is with younger people. More than 50% of young people in America get their news from social media. So just pause on that for a second. They are seeing short form videos, some of them totally made up, some of them not at all representing what they claim to be showing, and that's where they get their information. And
I feel like this
Some
sucks.
people also use it to vent their feelings and talk to people.
By banning social media for those under 16, we're giving children a childhood and parents more peace of mind.
It's just kind of pointless. It's just we're just gonna create new ways to get on these platforms. So what's the point,
I kind of see where they're coming from, but also I think if you can get a job at 14, I think you should be able to have.
I think they're also low-key kind of fucked up by putting the age at 16. Because I feel like if they had done 10 or something, there would be much less resistance to this. Or 12. But when you do 16, all of a sudden, these are people who are 2 years away from being seen as adults. These are people who are already capable of getting a job, capable of driving a car. Obviously, they shouldn't be treated like adults, but they shouldn't be seen as adults. But as far as allowing them to operate on social media. I don't know. Yeah, even 14 is like more reasonable than 16, I think. Like when you're getting into high school, I guess. I just think the younger they made the age limit, the less resistance there would be. Yeah, it's crazy that you can get a job at 14, but you can't be on social media for 2 extra years.
Be able to have social media, and I think they will just use their phones on different apps. Like, you can still watch Netflix, you can still go on Pinterest, like you can do a lot more different things on similar kind of apps, but yeah, maybe it will make people go outside more, but not really.
Everyone's going to find a way around really easily.
How?
Just do other people's IDs, although that does have to match with your date of birth and name. Just VPNs, getting your parents to do it for you, anything.
I think that the ban is good that like social media is banned, but there's ways to get around it, and they could have gotten around it a better way. Like they should have put restrictions, like you can't post and you can't comment or subscribe, and you can just view things, or put restrictions on certain videos.
There's a loss of social interactions, especially when you're like meeting new people and trying to communicate with your friends, because I know a lot of people nowadays use social media to interact, so it's definitely got its positives and negatives.
I've been on social media since I was about 10 years old, so I've definitely grown up on it, and it's how I've developed a lot of social connection. But I feel like for younger ages, it would be like a big improvement.
I just feel like there's a lack of trust. Like, I mostly think that the social media should be up to the parents to decide whether their children should be allowed it or not. I don't think it should be a government thing. A lot of us expected that it was going to be delayed, so we didn't realize it would be this sudden. So we're all a bit...
That one fat Australian kid who hates China won't be able to go on social media. I hope you're happy. I'm in favor of banning Drew Pavlov from the internet. If Albo only made it so that Drew Pavlov was not allowed to post on the internet, I'd be happy with that ban.
Shock still, but since some of us still have our accounts, we're just unsure what's going to happen and how they're going to...
Honestly, they should just throw him in prison.
Ensure that we're not going to be able to access social media. Mainly right now, well before the ban, everyone used to talk to each other through Snapchat, which is one of the apps getting banned. And everyone seems to be freaking out and giving their phone numbers out since we don't have that mode of communication anymore.
I think they will just use their phones on different apps. You can still watch Netflix, you can still go on Pinterest, like you can do a lot more different things on similar kind of apps, but yeah, maybe it will make people go outside more, but...
Soon we will have to ID verify to watch porn. I know. Whenever I go to a country or a state that has ID verification to watch porn, I instantly hit the VPN. I hit the VPN so fast, your head will spin. Ain't no way. I'm on incognito, bitch. I'm not trying to put my ID on there. Or you just find a shadier website, I guess, where you don't have to do that. Out of your dang mind, dude. Don't say that in front of your child in ethnic Santa. My child doesn't understand the English language. It's fine.
Not really.
It's just kind of like pointless. Like, it's just like, we're just going to create like new ways to get on these platforms. So, like, what's the point? I feel like it's kind of unfair because they do give us like a really short notice to prepare and all that. I feel like it should be like maybe like 14 or 15, have an exception because they can like start to get a job and start to get like their learner's permit and stuff. And I feel like, yeah, that's kind of unfair that they can't use their socials.
As young Australians, we will be completely silenced and cut off.
I don't know why they don't do this off like ISPs or something. Like ISPs, your phone provider knows how old you are. Like that's the other thing. Like why do they have to do this from the point of shitty ass age verification? Computers don't really work that way. I mean, you could make it so that they do work that way. Like IP lock everything that is handled by children. Make the parents reinforce it. And even then, I don't think that they should just like stop kids from going on social media in general. I just think that like IP locking certain devices and shit like that, and then allowing them to use like a walled garden social media platform would probably be a better idea.
From our country and the rest of the world with this ban. It's like we just grown up with this our entire lives, and now it's just being taken away from us all of a sudden. We wouldn't even know what else we could do. I've already heard of these like different apps that kids are going to jump to because like this social media is being taken away. But I believe once this social media is taken away, these platforms, the main ones, they are actually, they're not like perfectly regulated, but we can like control them, and like they're more regulated than other social media platforms. And when kids like jump to these less regulated social media platforms, that's when like they're shown more things, or they're more like vulnerable to online bullying or predators. It's when it's less regulated.
And Noah engages social media in so many positive, wholesome ways. The things that Noah's generation learns, we dreamed of. We were so limited to libraries and single
Is this the mom in the same car? What the f going on?
pages of encyclopedia. My parents would never have
They first asked the kid and then they asked the mom.
dreamed that my children could be so fortunate to have this library of knowledge. But I really credit Noah as a young person who recognizes the dangers of social media. It's not all sunshine and lollipops.
I think she pulled over to do her bit. My son Noah. Yeah, in Australia, by the way, they don't call it gooning. They call it gurning. I'm gurning. Oh no, I'm gurning. I didn't laugh. Bad bit. Fart smeller. We on Gab down here now. Tourists to the United States would have to submit 5 years of social media history under the new Customs and Border Protection plans. So if you're 16 years old in Australia, you're cooked. You are not allowed into the country because you will have no social media to show, and they just won't let you in. So there's that too. How are the Aussies going to get in to the United States of America in the absence of social media if they are under the age of 16? 5 years? Ain't nobody doing that shit to go to LA? Yeah, the famously large contingent of 14-year-olds on Truth Social. Yeah, they will be. Now that the ban is implemented everywhere else, they're going to go on LinkedIn, and they're going to go on Truth Social, and they're going to goon on Truth Social. As God intended, brother. Real patriots.